Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Hey, so welcome. This is not the Food Network, but it is the Street Soldiers. Today we are featuring food entrepreneurs. We've done entrepreneurs several times, in the last year. So we tried this. We had a show on women entrepreneurs back in March. This time we started to go straight food, because I like food. That's why. And I want to give the people here some love and get their business. And I always really want to find out the stories behind it. It's the stories behind it. I know the food is good. After this, I want y'all to give me some, but that's okay. No, I'll pay. I'll pay. But the stories are what warms our heart. Your journey, how you got here. It's been a pandemic. I'm laying all this out because I want y'all to talk about this. How have you done through that? What keeps you going? Because I know it's hard, and I believe you love the work that you do. So who do we have? We have Evan Kidera. Evan, I say your name right?
That's right, Evan Kidera.
Okay. Señor Sisig, and we saw that video
from the green screen.
Tony Diaz of Tony's Cakes. Is that you, right, Tony? Is that right?
Yeah.
And Danielle Modica of Inner City Grubz. Did I say that right, Danielle? Good. We'll go.
Danielle Modica.
I did say it right? Modica. Oh, okay.
Close.
Modica. And I see you I already I know I'm gonna like this because you got the Z on the, you have GRUBZ. So I like it. All right. We got a little time here. We want to explore everything about so Evan, we just saw you, got a little bit about you. Why don't you jump in, talk about when you started, what got you started. We heard it, but let's do it again. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having us on the show. Longtime fans. I grew up in San Francisco, so I remember listening to the show back in, 94, 95 in my dad's car. You guys would bring real topics on the show, play some Too Short, MC Hammer, some bass slaps in between. I loved it. That's the only time we would ever really get to hear, some of our rapping idols back then on the radio, right? And so like Sunday nights, I always look forward to that as a San Francisco kid. So honored to be on the show. Just a little bit about us. We are Señor Sisig. We've been in business since 2010. Last year was our 10-year anniversary. We're about to turn 11. What a 10-year anniversary we had, right? What a year it's been. But to kind of go back a little bit to the start, like I said, we started in 2010. It's me and my business partner, Gil Payumo, long-term friend since high school. He's more of the chef, and I'm more of kind of the business side, but we work together very well in kind of creating everything that's Señor Sisig. So, I mean, it's a long story, but I mean, I think to kind of
on to the long story because we want to get that after everybody else in. This is the intro, and we want to go into the long story because that's what makes Street Soldiers. We're not a soundbite thing. We love to hear people's stories. So in business 2010, you and your partner, and see, you already got us because you listened to the show. You're a long time listener, man. I mean, hey, you know, we was on in '94. I don't remember when. Okay, Tony Diaz of Tony's Cakes. Go for it, brother.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for having me on here. Appreciate it. I'm Tony Diaz, owner of Tony's Cakes. We're in Vallejo, California. It's a small family business that all of a sudden it has been growing so much lately, even through the pandemic. Real blessed to be here, and just lately I've been getting called for my story and been sharing it. Happy to share it with anyone that's willing to listen. A lot of people have been telling me it's an inspiration, so whatever helps, I'm all for it. We've been around for almost 3 years. Next month will be 3 years. Officially 3 years next month, so it's pretty cool. Never thought I'd be in business this long, but it's been a pretty good a good journey so far.
More to come. All right, Danielle, you up? Give us the intro.
Hi guys, I'm Danielle Modica. I'm a Richmond girl. I've been here my whole life. So if you're from Richmond, you kind of know we have an image here. We have a stigmatism with Richmond. So I started my business basically from poverty. Like I got inspired by a guy called Young Busco. And this guy was selling plates from home. And when I looked at what he did, I said, hey, I could do that, but I didn't want to do what he did exactly. So I took his concept and I started to do different food, because we were in the same area. And so I started at home cooking in my kitchen, and I kept at it, and then I was able to start a on-site catering service that I just started this year. And, thank you. So, I did a lot of groundwork and testing a lot of recipes on people. And, now I know what they like. So just looking forward to, a new start of being an entrepreneur and legit this time, So this is really awesome, to be in a Zoom with like-minded people, especially Senior Sisig. Like they inspire me so much. I always keep up with those guys. I've had the food several times, So just happy to be here, guys.
So happy to have all of you. So we got 10 years, we got 3 years, and like fresh out.
Just jumping off the porch.
So each of you, I always think there's a misconception with a lot of people about being an entrepreneur. And they've heard me say this before. My classic one is this, I was on, we did the radio show in LA for 3 years, back in the 90s. And I remember this brother came on and he said, he said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur, And I said, fine. And he said, I want to start at the top. I said, hey, brother, he said, I want to retire. He was like 21. He said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start at the top and I want to retire something like 25 or 28 or something like that. And he said, and I want to start at the top because I don't want to work a lot. I said, wait a minute, brother, you don't know what being an entrepreneur is, right? And so how did each of you decide that I'm going to risk it all and go into it? I mean, that's really what it takes. I mean, did you have a side job and keep that, but I mean, the official launching of each of your thing, and I'm going into it. How did you say, all right, I'm taking the plunge? So Evan, let's start with you.
Yeah, for me, I always kind of knew it was in my blood. I've always been kind of a hustler. Like I like to, whatever it was. I used to dub Machiavelli tapes when I was, 13 years old and bring them to school and slang them. So, putting cotton balls in the cassette tapes back in the day, get like 50 tapes and record them overnight and make $10 a pop and come back home with $500, from school. So I've always kind of had the entrepreneurial spirit. My dad was a chef, but he also started his own business growing up. So I kind of grew up in the restaurant business. But for me, it was more kind of like, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So after graduating with my bachelor's from SF State University in 2004, I went on to work for UCSF, and I was doing some inventory management for them. And I worked there for 3-4 years. Great job, good salary, benefits, secure. But I also realized at that point that the upward mobility for me was kind of just at the helm of somebody retiring or leaving, and it was just too slow for me. And I really wanted to be able to pave my own path. And at the time I was young and naive, and I was angry, right? I was angry with my boss. It's your fault. You're not giving me the next job or the promotion or whatnot. But there just came a point where I realized, I was like, you know what, like, I got to take the risk. I got to go get it if I really want it. And it's on me. It's not them. It's not their fault. They're within this corporation that has the rules of kind of how politics, of how like things work. So I ended up just quitting my job, just said, forget it. I got to put myself in a really kind of pressure situation and kind of figure it out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to do that. And so, from that, I was doing music at the time as well. And, was just started with no job, and music really wasn't paying the bills. I had to kind of really was forced to start to get creative. And that's kind of through that first year was when I was seeing, food trucks. There's not enough food trucks, as I was saying in the video, in the Bay Area. I didn't really see the same amount of food trucks or street food you would see around the world. And so I saw an opportunity. And then around 2009 is when social media, Twitter, all that stuff really started popping off. And there was a recession and people started getting into food trucks. And, we decided to just go for it, buy a food truck and get something started, do something unique and new. And so, that was really kind of how it all came to.
I'm always amazed at the creativity that goes into entrepreneurship. Even if it's an existing thing, it's each individual's flavor, each individual spin, even if it's just different recipes, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always wow, great job, man. Great job. Did you cuss your boss out before you quit, or did you leave on good terms?
I had got hurt. I broke my leg, and it ended up, I was just like, you know what, I'm not coming back. I started. So, and then, but I have come back, and I've just been saying, you know what, I realized it wasn't you guys, it was me. It was me at that point, and I'm still really good friends with a lot of people from UCSF. So I didn't do the half baked, like, I'm out.
Down and shove it like in the movies.
Who's coming with me? No, I didn't do all
that. Thanks, Evan. Right. Tony, you're the moment you said, how was it? Trepidation? Was it what? Go ahead.
Well, for me, it wasn't. I don't recall like should I do it or should I not kind of moment, like what do I have to lose? Because for me, that's all I ever had. I never really had a job outside of working with family and cakes. I wasn't ever given an opportunity to work in a large corporation, experience having a boss that wasn't my own relatives. So for me, it was just gradual. I live in Vallejo, and I used to work at my grandma's bakery and also Rane. So everyone that all my friends and family that knew me here in Vallejo would ask for a cake here or there. So I'd make something on my free time, and it just went from that to I couldn't do it in the kitchen anymore, and I ended up just opening up or renting some kitchen space, commercial kitchen space, doing it on the weekend or whenever I had free time. And then I outgrew that to just having to find my own place and build a bakery with all the orders that were coming in. As they were coming in, I was getting the money and then putting it into building a new wall or fixing the bathroom, or little by little just building the bakery. So it wasn't like a big like defining moment where are you going to invest all this money and do it or not, So I think it was just the people really that pushed me to make it happen. There was a point where I was like, is this what I want to do? Do I want to, do I want to pursue something else or not? And I kind of for a moment was gonna begin to leave it alone, but I couldn't. The people kept coming. They're like, hey, I really need you to make me this wedding cake. You're the only one I know that can do it the way I want it. Come on. So I just, all right, let's do it. And then we went from there to just being really grateful for having the community support that I have, coming from from my background and everything that I've been through. I'm really grateful. I feel like it's my way of giving back. A lot of the times I get clients that have seen me from the beginning, and I still see them. We have like this long relationship, and for me, I mean, there's nothing more rewarding. It's not worth losing, because you see the growth, and you're going through life with everyone that you care about and that cares about you, and we're just one big community.
I got a feeling there's more of a story I want to hear about. The life seems a lot different than it was back then. And let me just say, John, man, look, I can cook a little bit, but I can't bake can't cuss on Zoom. So, man, brother, I can't bake for nothing. Lady Zell can bake, right? And cook. I mean, baking, look, I got to get the Toll House cookies and put them in. That's about it for me.
And it's the opposite for me. I can bake, but I can't cook. I can't get the seasoning right.
Thanks, man. Danielle, the moment for you. And that couldn't have been too long ago, I mean, that like, I'm doing it. I'm taking the plunge.
Well, for me, I was working security full time. And I would always get these jobs where I'm working like in a warehouse, and everyone knew that I was kind of like illegally selling food already. So I would like be doing more cooking. Like I come to work with all these plates for people, that would pre-order their food or whatnot. And for me, it was scary. I've always been check to check. I've landed some pretty good jobs in my time, like Tesla. I was there a little while. But it's always never enough. Like I'm a single parent, so like he said before, my creativity is really through the roof. I had to start like writing down ideas and kind of just finding my own self-motivation, just jumping out on the limb, because I had like some support, but I was scared still, and I was like, I didn't want to do anything that could jeopardize me not being able to pay my next bill that was due, my rent or whatever. And so what I did is I noticed I was making more money, than I would going to work, like way more money. And for me, it was like a no-brainer. Like what I used to do is I started my business as a summertime pop-up shop, where I just would only work the summer, and I, work my regular security job through the winter and all that. But I started getting more of an audience. So I was going longer through the year, and I was supporting myself financially, and being able to save. So when I created that stream, of income for myself, I said, well, wow, like I believe in myself enough to, stop working or whatnot and go into this job full time. Now, since then, it's ups and downs. Like I started with all this confidence. I did pretty good, but there's been some things going on. Like I live in a really bad area. So it's like, like I actually just went back to work recently, doing some work, like a graveyard position, so I can actually try to do both, because I just don't want to fail, myself. I still like to have a safety net under myself because I have kids. So, like, and then I live in an area, like I say, it's so bad. It's like, there's some inspiration here, but it's not a lot. It's really rare that you're able to rub shoulders with like-minded people and positive people, so it's like, I'm just trying to grow as a woman and as a mother and an entrepreneur. And I realize now that I need to like, I've outgrown where I live. You know what I'm saying? Like I've outgrown some things in my life, and I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. So I'm just at a point, at a crossword, where I'm embracing my calling. I know this is what I want to do. I know I'm good at it. I know I have the support, but I just have to focus and zero in on my dream. I have to do the work. Nobody's going to give me anything, is what I've discovered. So I just try to stay motivated and constantly find inspiration and do self-affirmations and just whatever I need to do to keep my head in a good space of what my mission is and my goal as an entrepreneur, you know. And I have a slogan. My slogan is making your taste buds go crazy one bite at a time, right? And I feel like I live up to that because I have people all the time. Like, if I feel so good when I'm somewhere and someone has had one of my treats. I have like all kinds of things I sell. Food. I have a summertime slushie that's really, really refreshing and really good. And, you know, I love the response that I get from the product. I know it's a good product, so I just sit there. I don't brag. I just let them tell me how they feel about it, you know, and I love the response that I get. Like, that's what motivates me. I like to create these little experiences. The little bit of time I get you, I want you to have a great time. I want you to feel good. I want your taste buds to go crazy, you know. So not only am I selling food and drinks, I'm selling an experience. You know, I try to be a positive person when you interact with me so that you want to come back, you know, and that you want to help me grow even more, you know, because I feel like what I do, I really want a restaurant, you know, so I'm starting small. I have like an on-site catering trailer. And so I'm just, you know, I'm just jumping out there, you know, but I'm keeping my safety and I'm keeping my job for now because the world is crazy. But, you know, eventually I hope to grow and I hope to be able to, you know, really have a name for myself out there besides just the area that I'm in. Because the world's so big, you know, I started this seed here in Richmond, but the world is huge and there's so many people who haven't experienced my stuff. So it's like, I got to get out of this shell that I'm this comfort zone and I got to propel myself into the next chapter, you know?
Yep. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Let me just ask Tony and Evan, I know with any business, when it starts to catch on, was there a point when you were growing too fast? I heard you, Tony, you talking about, you know, had the rest of the business back. I mean, that was ahead. Evan, was there a point where you felt like, you know, the demand was without pacing the supply? I'm just curious about that, to either one of you.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm going through that right now. I had to this weekend. I had to make some signs and put them outside and said appointments and pickups only because we couldn't take any more walk-ins. We had clients the phones were off the hook. I had to put a stop to the phone calls. We couldn't handle it. But we made it to the week. I'm going through training some more team members right now. And that's the hardest part I think that I'm going through right now is finding the right help, you know, the right person for the job and being strong enough to say, you know, in the right words or you know, thank you, but no, you know, because I'm
customer
just really,
service.
Yeah, right, yeah, and but that I'm going through that right now. I'm trying to deal with the growth, and I'm going through the mindset actually right now is you know, when is enough? You know, should I pace myself and just, you know, is too much bad or you know, like where should I go with this? Is where I'm at in the business, and I feel real fortunate to say that now that I think about it. But yeah, it's a good problem to have, I guess. But
but it's still a problem.
Right.
What about you, Evan? Did that happen with you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we grew really, really fast. You know, the year before we started, I had worked and tried to get into grad school as well. So I got into a master's program at San Francisco State, you know, kind of similar to Danielle, like maybe just my pillow, my safety net, just like get my education because I don't know what's really going to happen. So I did that. And, you know, so I was doing that for the first 2-3 years as we started to kind of get into business and learn what we're doing and grow. And then, you know, I was going to school part-time. So it took me a long time. It wasn't like this 18-month master's program. It took me like 3-4 years. But at the end of the, I think, 4th year, it was about 2 or 3 years into business with Senior Sisig. I did my master's thesis on our business, and it was titled Growing Pains.
Wow.
Right. Which
wow.
is, yeah. So,
hey man, send your thesis to Danielle, okay?
well, you know what? You know, my professor loved it so much. She helped me edit it and get it published on Harvard University's website. So it's downloadable for like I think $10 or something like that. But you know, students around the world in business programs have been able to use that as an educational tool, which is, one of my proud moments. But it was all about the growing pains of the first 3 years. In 3 years, we went from 1 truck to 3 food trucks. And that was hard because it was really only 2 of us, right? 2 business owners. I mean, we went from 1 and then we were both in 1 and we got 2. I was like, okay, you do that one, I do this one. That was not that hard. And then we got the 3rd one. It was like, well, how are we going to do this, right? And then that's when it started to we started to hit our ceilings and see like, okay, well, this is more than just what we were doing at first. We get into it because we want to just do food, cook, run a business. But now you got to learn how to, like, to Tony's point, hire the right people, educate people on your team and train and let go. It's like, when you start a business, it's like your baby. So to Danielle, I mean, like, I have a kid too. And it's just like, as they grow, at some point you got to let them walk. At some point you got to let them leave the house. And that's kind of what happens to your business as it grows. And, we around the 3rd year kind of had to say, okay, or especially me, because I was like kind of more from the business side of it, like, okay, if we want to go any more further than we are right now, we have to learn how to kind of let go a little bit of our business and let people do some of the other parts of the business. And so really just looking in the mirror and identifying, okay, with your 40 to 60 to maybe 80 hours a week that you can commit, what do you want to do? Where are your strengths at? And then what is everything else that needs to be done that you have to go hire out, but you have to let go. And so, that was kind of the ceiling we were bumping our heads on around year 3. And I wrote that thesis, and it was a time for me to really sit down and step back and look at the business. And from that, it was a blessing because I was able to kind of take that and then apply it. And then we kind of just blew up from there.
That really makes me think, what is it that, because y'all in different phases, right? 1, 3, 10 years. What is it that people think they know but don't know about being an entrepreneur? I think, what is it that they really, I mean, like the guy talking, he just wanted money. I just know he wanted money. His thing is I want money. Well, I knew right away.
I was going to refer to that. He was like, I want to get to the top on day 1. It's like, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's not about that. Like, being an entrepreneur, you got to have a passion for it. I mean, you do this because first and foremost, you want to do something that you love. Yes, there's going to be money that comes in, but you got to, it's really the freedom of being able to do what you love day to day and make people smile. And if you get value out of that, I think that's what makes you happy. It's not, the money comes, like whether it's, just enough to get by month to month, or down the line, you're living your dreams, but you can't really focus on that first. You got to focus on your product, your people, yourself, and have fun.
And you got to answer that to anything people or Danielle, people don't know that they, but I'm in it now. So this is what y'all may think it's like that.
One thing I feel like people don't know, that you're only going to be, your business is only going to be as good as you got to put your all into it. You got to give it your all. So I feel like some people, they're interested in starting a business, but they're not committed. They won't give it their all and give it their best, So for me, I feel like when I do anything, I want to give it my best. I want to leave a mark, and I want to be dedicated to what I do, So it's a total commitment. People don't understand. Like, I don't hang out much. I don't go to clubs. My time is very precious and very limited, because what I do is demanding physically. I'm in the hiring phase as well. I can't get consistent help. I fired a couple people, but trial and error. I'm just trying to get people that understand how passionate I am about it and get them to share a passion, because like he said, the money is there. It's not about the money. It's about creating a destiny for yourself, financial freedom, possibly generational wealth. Maybe my kids will like doing it,
I like that.
Oh, my kids, they got their own lemonade already. So, they're doing their little thing, and they're so good. Like, I make a lot of them, a lot of people buy them, and just the response we get on those is huge, so it's just about giving it your best. I always encourage people that are interested in entrepreneurship, just give it a try. Once you get a taste, you'll never go back. Once you get a taste, it's going to be hard to get up and go punch a clock for somebody else. You're not like, for me, it's really hard for me. I work grave, so I cop, I work. I'm not doing too much on that shift, but I play it safe, because I want to reserve my energy, and I know that nothing really moves around on grave that much, So definitely just some dedication, it's commitment. You might have to miss out on some late nights, you can't party so much, can't be drinking and taking your energy away, or it will reflect in your work and your food, So, sacrifice is what I tell them all the time. Like, it's a huge sacrifice.
Got that. I'm writing this down. Tony, what that people don't know that they need to know.
You're gonna have some nights you're not gonna sleep. You're gonna be dreaming about things you have to do the next day. You're gonna be, you're gonna have a lot on your mind all the time, because you are wearing a lot of hats at first. As he said, you at first you're taking care of it. It's your baby. You're doing every little thing, and you gotta be able to switch from being an accountant to being customer service to being the phone rep to learning how to maybe a little bit of computer editing to create logos and all this good stuff that you got to do. So it's a lot that goes into it, and you got to be really be committed, because if you can't do it halfway and expect people to put their hard-earned money into what you're doing if you're not giving it your all. Definitely would say you as Danielle said, you gotta be committed. Definitely, there's nothing worse you can do than not be fully committed into a business.
A lot of people, it sounds like it isn't to some people, but people who do this completely understand, founding and running a nonprofit is a business. And my business and our business is saving lives. I mean, and in order to save lives, though, I always tell people, we're in the business of saving lives. Mm-hmm. So we can't do the business, we can't save lives. Yeah. And, if you heard us on Street Totals before, the radio show grew out of Omega Boys Club, Alive and Free Omega Boys Club, and our commitment to send young people to college. You're talking about open your big mouth and tell them, look, if you avoid the streets, come to the program, and listen to what we say, you pick the college and we'll find the money. Why they had no damn money? Right? So, so I quickly said, why the hell I say that? But, we're a big believer in faith. I have one of them religious grandmothers, believe faith can move mountains, God will provide, all of that stuff, all of that. And for 34 years now, it's been working, but I completely understand the business part of it. And as and it's funny, the young people don't even know the business part. They just like, Dr. Marshall gave me a check, but I have to go make that happen, or get staff that will make that happen. So I understand, and I completely understand when somebody else don't do it, you got to do it. So, they don't be, look, I close the building at night, set the alarm, vacuum the floor, you do whatever it takes, even if you have staff. And in the end, the responsibility falls on you. And luckily, we've been able to hire great people, who believe in the vision. Obviously, Lady Stella and Ann are two of them, because you only go as far as the people will take you. You only go as far as the people will take you. So I completely, and I'm still smiling. So, although they don't see me on those days when I don't.
Right. And I was just, now that you say that, just the other day I was taking out the trash. Like, I had two big garbage of trash, and to get to my trash can, I got to walk through the front door, to get to the trash. And a client was coming in as I was going out, and they look at me like in awe, like, oh, you take out your trash, like yeah, take out the trash. yeah. I mean, I got employees and stuff, but here I gotta take out my own trash too, here and there. We're a team. We'll help each other grow. So yeah, I mean, you might be the owner, but you're gonna have to clean. Sometimes you're gonna have to be working with with the grease trap or fixing problems
as
with
they
things.
say, the buck stops here, right?
Yeah, right. There's a lot.
And you got some. I know we saw a little bit of Señor Sisig, but you got some slides, some food looks from everybody. Can you pull some of that up?
Food. We got to show it off a little bit, right?
Yeah, let's show it up so I can get my mouth watering.
Oh, you're gonna be.
Yes, I'm been waiting. I'm ready for the food and the cake and what tasty sweets are.
You are gonna be hungry. So let's go ahead and take a peek at Señor Sisig and see what kind of food they offer. Let me make sure I got press the right buttons over here. So here we go. Just a little sneak peek.
All right. So
you should tell us what we're looking at because it's all.
Yeah, tell us what we're looking at before we go to Tony and Danielle. So what?
Yeah, what was the purple stuff? I know what it was.
Put the menu down. I like the music, by the way. I really like the music on. I like that. I can tell you're a musician. You can tell that. Go ahead.
What was your question?
Can you tell us?
Tell them what was on the menu. Tell them what the food.
That's what I want to know about the menu.
Okay. Yeah, you were talking about the purple stuff is the ube horchata. So it's kind of a spinoff. Everything we do is kind of a spinoff of Filipino and Mexican cuisine, using the two cultural flavors together. So, ube is a purple yam, which is very popular in Filipino cuisine, and we put it into a classic Mexican drink called horchata, and it's one of our more popular drinks. And all the other stuff is kind of like the tacos, the burritos, all sorts of stuff. You did pretty good, and I like that. I see you. Thank you for doing that. You might have to send that over.
Well, and then can you tell us about like what Sisig is, right? Because not everybody, I'm from David City. I know it, and I know ube, right? I got ube ice cream in my freezer right now. But,
I don't know.
But yeah, help Dr. Marsha. What is ube? What does that taste like? And what is the Sisig, because we got to get him some now.
Yeah, well, I talked about the ube a little bit. Let's talk about the sisig. Sisig is, basically what the main kind of protein is in all of our dishes. And so, as Ann said, maybe not everybody knows what sisig is, especially 10 years ago. Nobody, if you're not Filipino or if you're from Daly City or went to Westmore like us, know what Señor or sisig is. And so, but it's basically a way that they flavor the meat. It's a marinated, and traditionally in the Philippines, it's actually made out of the pig's head. Because in the Philippines, they really want to be able to use every single part of the body. So there's nothing kind of thrown away, right? So resourcefulness, right? And so they made this dish out of the pig's head, the ears, the snout, and they would kind of barbecue it or deep fry it. There's plenty of different ways to cook it, and it's marinated in like soy sauce, vinegar, juices, spices. So it's really sour, tangy, sweet, smoky. It's just a really, really, really flavorful dish. And so we actually took it, and we decided not to use the pig's head. We did more of a kind of meatier version that was more, would suit the American palate a little bit more for the masses. And we did pork shoulder. We do a chicken thigh version. We also did a tofu version. And so, and then what we did was, we barbecue all of those meats. So you get that real char, kind of real flame broiled taste to it. So it feels like barbecue as well. Dice it up, throw it in all our items, and so it's like, you kind of get a little bit of both, the flavors of Mexican cuisine, which, if you grew up in the Bay, all of us really have burritos and tacos. We grew up on that stuff. And so, you know, it just adds a whole different kind of swing to things.
And I love how you
Whew.
guys have
Oh,
expanded.
make my
and
mouth
gone
is
into
watering.
different-
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear everything because both of you guys are going at the same time. So let me just ask my question. Evan, is there a place, do you have designated places where your truck is on certain days?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, seniorsisig.com, you can click the Find Us tab. So we have 2 restaurants, one in San Francisco, one in Oakland, open 7 days a week. And then the food trucks, they kind of move around, right? And so those are kind of where you will go use the Find Us tab and see where we're at on any certain day.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who we got next, Ann?
All right, let's take you to Tony's Cakes. And these are just so beautiful. I must admit, I had Tony make my daughter's first birthday cake, and it was just so beautiful. So we get to see some of his work here.
Damn.
Right.
No.
Damn, man, you got skills, man. You really do all that for real?
I try.
Is everything edible?
Everything's edible. Everything that we saw on there was edible. I think except a little cup that was on top of one of the cakes, but everything else was edible. Yep.
Man, you need to be on Food Network on that show, man. You as good as they are, for real, man. On that bagel show.
Those are beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, I wish I could have made it to Food Network. They did it come out a couple of times to do a live interview to see if they could get me on the show, but because I have criminal history, that they weren't able to get me through like the little screening process. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make my own show.
That's right, man. Look, man. See, this is when I wish I had a lot of money and influence. So I'd be like, dude, put you on the show. For real, I don't care. Man, that was incredible. I'm stunned. I mean, that was. How long does it take to make one of those? Like,
it depends on how detailed it is, but I tell you, this last weekend we did about 69 orders, and within those orders, some of them had like 4 or 5 tiered cakes, dessert tables with hundreds of pastries and all kinds of stuff. But I got about, over the weekend, maybe I've slept about 6 hours. So right before I got on this show, I took a little 20-minute power nap to get me going. It's hard. It's very time consuming. Cakes is very, very time, especially all the little details you got to put in.
Detail.
Yeah.
My God.
Yep.
I can see why people won't let you quit.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, you're the only one that can do it.
Come
Let
you quit. No.
Yeah.
You're going to have to run away and hide.
Yeah.
In fact, let me tell you right now, I don't think she'll be upset. She might be. Let's see. She won't be. But my daughter's getting married. Pretty soon she just got engaged.
Wow.
For real. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't
Yeah.
know what the day, but I'm going to tell you, man, look, damn cakes. I'm going to show her these pictures. And like, Cassie, look, I don't know who you consider, but put this brother in the running.
Hey, you guys are invited for a free tasting. Come on down. Just let me know
No, wait.
when. Yep. Bring the whole crew, everyone. We can have a nice free tasting. I'll have it all set up for you.
No. Uh-oh. I'm
Incredible.
gonna be one to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Pick up the whole business. I had to get you a business partner. That, man, beautiful, unbelievable work. I'm serious, man. I'm like blown away.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, let's do Danielle. inner city Grubz. You know, we love grubbing.
Uh-oh. A lobster? Music too. Food looks good. I'm ready.
Go ahead, talk about it, girl. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Well, what do you want to know?
Everything.
Well, I don't have
Your
a set
main
menu.
dish, your favorite dish, your one.
One thing,
what people
it's
want.
really hard. It's really hard to decide a menu. Like I was trying to settle down on like the only things I would cook, right? But I cook a lot of stuff, so I like to I have a rotating menu where I never bore you. I try to entice you, and give you something like old school favorites, like tamale pie and just stuff that's wholesome that makes you feel good. That's what I like. I like, soul food, and then I love the Asian inspiration of food. So I love Cajun. I try to infuse Cajun and Asian together. And, that's one of my favorite genres of food that I like to do, besides just basic soul food, But
in Asian.
Yeah. Something
I
else.
want to know what you did to that lobster tail.
That was actually a broiled lobster tail. Really simple. Just garlic and butter, light seasonings. I use the blackened seasoning because, you don't really need a lot of salt on seafood. So, I'll keep it real light and fresh on that, And it was actually on a bed of garlic noodles with broccoli inside. I love my veggies. You'll always get veggies with me.
Broccoli.
Yes.
That looked good. I was ready for that one.
Thank you.
Then who taught you how to cook? Did you teach us? I mean, who did you come from a long line of cooks?
Believe it or not, no. I didn't know how to cook, Dr. Marshall, until I had children. Okay, and my oldest is 15. I was like your drive-through girl. I would go to Mickey D's in a heartbeat, right? And once I had kids, I wanted them to eat better food, And so I started to cook. And when I started cooking, I wouldn't stop. I just started playing around with all kinds of recipes. And I get inspired. I can go to a restaurant and I'll have something one time. And the way my palate is set up, I can go home and cook it. I can identify all those flavors in there. And so that's the one thing that I really love to do is I don't eat out a lot because I can make that stuff,
How many children
make it at home.
did you say you had?
Excuse me, dear?
How many children did you say you had?
I have 2 children, Mariah, who's a 15-year-old girl, and then I have Israel, who's 11 years old.
Okay. Yes, you're cooking. The 11-year-old, I know he's eating everything.
Oh, yeah, he loves everything. My daughter, she's kind of burnt out on seafood. She's not really into the seafood anymore. But my son, yeah, he's like a bottomless pit. He eats everything. Yeah. Got to taste it to make sure, it tastes good.
So wait a minute. So you one of the people that can go and taste something and know exactly what's in it and then do it?
I may have to eat it more than once, but usually once is a charm for me. So it'll stop me from going to go buy it, Like I used to have a fetish for rockin' crawfish, the crab sauce that they have. That sauce is off the chain, right? And so I would, that stuff is expensive. I go there and spend like $70 on a crab, But when you go to the store, crab is only like $20. So I learned how to make that sauce to save me some money. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Lord. Oh, y'all got skill. Got skill. I didn't ask Evan, who taught you how to cook?
Well, for me, I'm lucky. I got a business partner that's really the real cook.
I got it.
I grew up. All my dad and my uncles are all chefs, so I can cook. But you know, it's not what I want to do for my career. So I got a partner that he's been chefing up for me since high school. So yep.
And Tony, I heard you say you grew up in the baking business, right?
Yeah, I was blessed to. I started working at on the weekends. My mom used to take me to my grandma's shop to try to keep me out of trouble in high school, and you know, I just started washing dishes, helping out with prepping, chopping fillings and fruits and whatnot, and then from there just to baking, and next thing you know, I'm decorating wedding cakes and delivering them, and just started, you know, from the bottom, and learn the ins and outs of how to you know, make the finishing product what it is. And then from there I just started accepting orders that I wasn't sure of. I would just say yes to everything and then stay up all night trying to figure it out. I was gonna make it happen. But
Do you remember when you made your first cake?
yes, it was a wedding cake. It was a 2-tier. Well, my first cake, my first like small cake, it was from my cousin.
Yeah, the first one, the one that said, yeah, look.
It was a little Hello Kitty cake. It was a Hello Kitty face. My cousin Vanessa, she wanted it was her birthday, and I wanted to hook her up with something nice, and so I knew she liked Hello Kitty, and I just made her a little Hello Kitty cake. And that was like the first one that I just popped out the oven, and from scratch. I was just at the house doing it by myself, and it came out pretty nice, except like one of the whiskers was a little off, so it looked like low-key knockoff Hello Kitty, but hey, she was happy.
You guys know the history of Alive and Free, Street Soldiers, Omega. I mean, look, I was born, the show was born, the club was born at a time when it seemed like everybody was selling drugs. I mean, everybody was selling drugs. It was a crack cocaine era. Everybody was selling dope. The kids I taught in you know, middle school who did well, I turned around and they was out on the grind. I mean, dudes was going to jail like crazy. And, you know, one of my standard lines was, man, if you can sell dope, you can run a corporation. I always used to tell people all the time, man, you're just using your skills in a way, you know, that ain't gonna work. I mean, not only are you going to probably end up dead or in prison, even though somehow you think you're not, but, you know, and I was straightforward. You poison the community, you know, you ruining families, right? I think if I could get every one of them to flip that, and we have been, there's been a lot of success with brothers and sisters that used to be out there, brilliant minds, creative, but that's using that talent, you know, in the wrong way, and living a life that, you know, we all knew was going to end up. But just to see the smiles on your face and you're using this talent the right way, you know, I just wish they all could get that. Because they, you know, I mean, I don't want to start naming names. I have long folks. I go to, you know, I can go to San Quentin and say, brother, I told you, see, you know. And he said, Master, listen, you Dr. Marshall, you know. But to see you using your talents, even though it's tough, because I mean, dude, it was not fun out there standing on the corner, right? It wasn't fun being shot at, you know. It wasn't fun being grimy, even though, you know, it wasn't fun with the girlfriends riding in the car. You know, they thought it was fun, and they just, you know. I'm glad a lot of that era is now, it's not completely, because now they bipping and robbing and burglarizing and boosting, and they still not using all their talent. So I just want to, you know, thank you for doing it the right way.
Yeah,
you know?
no, definitely. I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, I got locked up at a young age and was doing it all the wrong way when I was in my teens, and thankfully I got a second chance. And you know, a lot of my friends and people I was incarcerated with, I still keep in touch with them, and I help them out however I can. You know, give them some guidance on how I've been doing things, maybe helping them out on whatever it is that they need to you know, figure it out, and not, you know, go back into that system. And you know, it's it's challenging because I've seen so many fall again and
Right.
continue that cycle. And you know, it's sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be patient and wake up every day to against the odds. I've been there, and not all of us had the opportunity that I had to learn a trade with family, you know. So they got to find a different way, you know. But definitely, it's something that I hope that, you know, some way or somehow we can uplift the community and share some inspiration and show that there is a better way to apply yourself. Mhm.
So,
Do you
Dr.
know-
Marshall,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've got a question just on behalf of Tony. I don't know if, what's his name, Dorsey? You know what I'm talking about?
Dorsey Nunn?
Dorsey Nunn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony, have you ever heard of Dorsey Nunn?
Dorsey.
He runs the program called All of Us Are None. Yeah.
Right. So I just, whenever I hear about records that inhibit one from moving forward in some way, I think about Dorsey Nunn and the ability of his people to have to expunge records. And I want you to know he's what, in Oakland?
He's in Oakland, yeah.
He's in Oakland.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I've got a niece. She's over 50 now. I don't remember the first time we saw Dorsey, but Dorsey came on to the radio show.
Mhm.
But I gave her, she had a felony on her record.
Mhm.
And I gave her Dorsey's information. From Kansas City, she reached out. They found somebody in Kansas City and got her record cleared.
Wow. Yeah, definitely worth something looking into. Because
Yeah, look into it. Anything is, you know, I mean, clearly you've got skills.
Thank
No
you, thank
question
you.
about that.
Yeah.
And then to say, come on out for a free tasting, that tells me you've got a heart. You've got skills and you're generous.
Thank you. No,
And
I
that's
try.
a blessing.
Thank you.
Now, so
That's definitely something worth
Yeah.
looking into. Hopefully trying to get, you know, stop getting you know, tagged. Even though
absolutely
I can't get employed, but I can employ. I don't see.
right. Now this is what we want you to do. When you reach out to them, tell them that you're on Street Soldiers.
Yeah.
Lady Estelle and Dr. Marshall on the show said, reach
Yeah.
out to Dorsey Nunn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you let him know that. Let them know that.
Will do.
Yeah. I mean, if there's nobody more familiar with or knows the ins and outs of record expungement than Dorsey. I mean, he's also done ban the box, you know, the box that you have to check off, you know, say, have you ever been convicted of a felony? He's done a lot with getting formerly incarcerated the right to vote. I mean, that's his thing. So I'm glad you thought that, Lady Estelle, because that thing where the Food Network banned a person as skilled as you because of a past that ain't right. That just ain't right. Yes, it ain't right, you know. So
everybody can change. Now, Dorsey was on that side.
Oh yeah, he was on that side.
Which is the reason that he fights so hard.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm glad to hear some good news. Definitely. Share me that.
Now we may not be able to get you a bank with a bunch of capital, but
the Street Soldier sent you.
This is the Street Soldiers. I just want to say thanks. I mean, y'all just filled me up. I mean, thanks for doing it the right way. Lady E, you got more?
Yeah, we'll see, because when I was talking to Tony, I'm seeing Danielle and Evan nodding. I don't know what that means, but if that means that you
Is
know
there a backstory we don't know? You want to jump in?
If you know somebody who could benefit, because I tell you what, when I called my niece in Kansas City and said, I don't know, and they came through for her, she doesn't have that on her record anymore. So, I mean, you know, I don't know.
I'll speak up really quick because I can relate. I mean, like I come from it too. You know, I don't come from much. I've been arrested. I've been to jail. I did get my record expunged. I did it myself. So, you know, I've been on Food Network. So like it worked. So Tony, you got to get it expunged. But I think, you know, really, you know, listening to you, Dr. Marshall, you know, even as a kid, you know, like I wasn't part of the Omega Club, but we you were able to relate to us because you had the music in there, right? And then we would hear the positive message. And so, you know, if there's kids out there, or even adults that are listening tonight, and they feel like there's no hope, you know, I've been there. I was a hustler. You know, when I say hustle, I wasn't just hustling tapes, you know, and so I'm not going to get into that, right? But, you know, I realized, you know, that, you know, yes, that fast money and that, you know, what you kind of know from where you're growing up, that's not the way to go about it, because it's gonna, it goes fast and it stops real fast too. And you know, we have to kind of learn how to take baby steps, and have the control to just go day by day and take those baby steps and be okay with it. And it's up to us to kind of break those generations of doing it that way for the next generation. So if you have children, or you have somebody that's your mentoring, or other people that are just looking at you, you might not even know it, but you got to show them that way, because, you know, it's really about changing that path, because you know, I've been there, I've done it. And now I'm here, you know, I have a successful business. You know, Tony, you're doing it the right way. Danielle, you're doing it the right way. I heard you come from a neighborhood and you're surrounded by it all day. So it will be easy for you to fall into that, but you're not, you know? And so, you know, but it takes, we're all on our own path, and we're not all, you know, we all have different blessings at different times, but hopefully people that are listening tonight can take some inspiration from our stories, and, you know, just take it one day at a time, and don't risk. It's not worth that. You know, if you're going to take a risk, get over your fear. Get over your fear. Quit your day job. If you want to do something, to take a risk, you know, on that side, you know, just not the wrong way. That's where you're jeopardizing everything else.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
You know,
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Details aren't important. The fact that the compassion and caring for you to say, been there, understand, this is what I did, and guess what? And look at where I am now. It can happen. That is enough to empower, encourage, and support somebody else out there, because they're looking at you. They see you. Okay, they don't know the journey, but they see where you are now, and just hearing that there is a story, and looking at the product is powerful. So thank you for that. Danielle. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I could totally relate to what Dr. Marshall was talking about, being, you know, consumed by my environment. I was in a lot of foster homes and group homes as a kid. I vaguely met you a long time ago, Dr. Marshall. I was in YGC for heck along as a kid. And I was one of the Omega girls. I did all the meetings. You know, Mama J was working there at the time, and I was a TL track star, to say the least. You know, I was out there, and, you know, I only knew how to hustle and survive. I didn't have any other skills. So it took for me to go through all this tragedy of living the wrong way, you know, in and out of jail. I went to A50 a lot of times. Thankfully, I never went to prison. I was able to turn my life around before I got that deep into it. But yeah, I took that same tenacity that I had, you know, out there in the streets hustling, and I changed the product to something that's not poisoning my community, to something that's nurturing people and filling up their souls and their spirit with something way better than drugs, you know? And so I try to inspire people in my community to challenge themselves to do something as well, you know? But I swear, without the Omega Boys and Girls Club, I don't think I would have got penetrated the way I did, you know, mentally, because you guys challenged me to think for myself instead of just following the crowd. You know, Jack, he's so near and dear to my heart. He spent a lot of time fighting for me. They tried to send me to YA as a kid. I wasn't really a criminal per se. I was just like a habitual runaway. And so he fought for me, you know, and I love that guy. Like, you know, I always think about how somebody like that would feel about me doing the wrong thing, you know, so I'll always remember the seeds that were planted, you know, and I hold on to those memories, and I let that propel me in a good way. And I'll just lead by example, you know. So I had to get that off my chest, but what you guys do is awesome. And, you know, if you ever need volunteer work, I'm down. I'll come support, you know, because I know how important it is to penetrate these youth and to stop them. You know, like, I know my story alone. I've spoken to kids around here, and I've stopped them from taking the wrong path. You know, I've challenged them to go get a job. I actually was a recruiter for a company And I was able to give people jobs off the street without any skills. They just needed the right outfit to wear, you know? And so that's one of the things that I like to do is empower my community, you know, versus being poison and dragging it down. So, you know, like that totally hit home for me, you know, having that hustler's background, you know, and just being able to change the narrative, change the generational curses, you know, like that's what I live for right there. Like, I feel like that's my true calling, is challenging those stigmas and just being better and rising above all that stuff, you know? So I'm just, you know, I'm impressed. I love you guys. I always tune into the show. I need that inspiration weekly. You know, I got to get it in there. So, you know, you guys keep up the good work. And thank you for giving us a platform.
We see Jack every Tuesday. Dr. Marsha, I know you got her name written down. So you can tell Jack on Tuesday that Danielle Modica talked about him.
Hey, he's gonna remember me. Believe me.
Change that name from hustler to marketing extraordinaire.
Thank
you. Got the gift of communication.
All of
you got to have exemplary communication skills. You know, both inter and intrapersonal. You got to be able to share. You've got to be able to get in touch with what people want, what they like, and then take that to the next level. So that ability, when you were out there young, you know, using your craft, you just weren't sure. Right. You know what I mean? You were just marketing extraordinaire. Now you got the kind of product that will keep you alive and free.
Exactly.
And they can't take your money away from you.
Not at all. Not at all. No confiscations over here.
You know, Jack is an amazing person. Jack is, I mean, I think Jack is 100% spirit and heart. I mean, that he's just, and it's hard to explain Jack to people, right? You know, he's not a evaluation. He's none of the things like that. It's just all in here. It's all out of love. And he has a saying called "Never give up." Never give up. I mean, Jack must say that, you know, never give up. You know? And so when I tell him about you, he's gonna say, he's gonna really, it's gonna make him feel good. So thank you, honey. Thank you. And thank you for listening. All three of you, thank you for listening. This is a bonus. I mean, we came to hear about the food and the business, but and let me just say, for each of you, this is the real you. That other person, that other persona, that other, you know, I call it the mask. Sometimes I call it the mask in those days, trying to be somebody. This is you. This is you, using all your gifts and talents for, you know, for the benefit of yourself and others. And I'm sure Lady Estelle say for the benefit of the Almighty, you know, because there's a blessing that has come upon that allows you to be who you are now. And sometimes the show being on Sunday and things like this makes me think, I know we picked the right day to have the show. It gets so spiritual up in here, you know. And so just thank you for doing what you do. You know, thank you for being an example. You know, people don't really go on what you say, but they definitely watch what you do. They definitely watch what you do. And, you know, Jack would call it walking the walk. And thank each of you. And, you know, life's gonna be a struggle. It's always a struggle. It's a struggle at every stage. It's a struggle at 8, it's a struggle at 80. But, you know, if there is no struggle, there is no progress, right? Frederick Douglass's great quote. So it's gonna be a struggle as you, but just the feeling that this is yours, you know, and the feeling of what you're setting for yourself and your families or the people is amazing. I mean, I got people watching right now who say, man, you know, my sister is watching from Sacramento. Oh man, that raise something. And, you know, what you do to inspire others is, what can I say? Tell folks.
What I would say is that what you're doing is who you were created to be. Your work, that's a gift that was given to you. The desires to sell, to bake, to cook, to share, to guide, those didn't come from you. Those came through you. They came to you and through you. When you pay attention, and like you say, Evan, when you take the risk, because you got a feeling. It's so funny. I'm going to say this, Dr. Marshall,
Go ahead.
about how we're treated. And sometimes things happen and the rug gets snatched out from under us. And we think this is really messed up. But what it really is sometimes is a gift. Because you would move to do what you were destined, guided to do. That gift that comes to you and through you comes from God. I also want to say to you, when you talk about what you want, Danielle, because I listened to you and there's one thing you said and I want to jump in, but I waited and I'm glad I remembered. Always, always talk about what you want, not what you don't want. What we talk about shows up. The only thing is that the negative, have you ever said, I don't want, and then it shows up? Okay, that's your indicator. This is what you want. I want my business to be successful. I want it to be, and I want it, and I want it, and I want this, and I want it, and I want my record to be clear. I want another food truck. In fact, I want a building, or one more building, clear about what you want. And what happens is when you're clear about what you want and you keep saying what you want, then it's like you become that high-powered magnet and you start working and being focused on what you want. And the clarity comes and things show up. So remember, every time you hear yourself saying, and sometimes we don't pay attention to what we say, every time you hear yourself saying what you don't want, then remember, that's just the devil blocking your blessings. You say, hold up, this is what I want. Lord, I want. Is that a song? He's bouncing to it. That's right. I want. And don't hesitate to be willing to do the work. Clarity comes and it shows up. Because guess what? What the things that you said you wanted, you got. The things you said you didn't want, you got those too. Hold on. Focus on what you want. Okay. That's all I got.
Thank all of you. Thank all of you. Let's go through one more time. Where can everybody find you? Evan, tell them one more time. How can they find you?
www.seniorsisig.com. If you want to go online, you can follow us on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, @SeniorSisig. We actually just filmed with Food Network a few months ago. And so catch us this Friday. The episode is going to be airing on this Friday. I think it's 9:00 PST. It's called Mobile Munchies or something like that. Mobile food or something like that.
I am a Food Network fan. Okay, I will see that.
Yep. 9:00. And Lady Estelle preach. Amen. So all of that, I mean, the one thing, I always say, like when that rug gets slipped from underneath you, to your point, is there's two people. There's one that's gonna say, why me? Or then there's going to be another that's going to just say, you know what, why is this happening? And what's the opportunity in this? All that struggle, there's something better from that. So don't be the why me person. Let's just figure out, go through the struggle and build and grow from it. So, and thank you guys for having me on tonight.
Tony, where can we find you?
You can find me.
I'm ready to tell my daughter. Okay, so tell me, let's get your space.
Yeah, we're in East Vallejo, next to right across the street from O'Reilly Auto Parts on Springs Road. You can find me at tonyscake.com or on Instagram, Tony's Cakes, Facebook, Tony's Cakes, or you can call me. Google Tony's Cakes. I'll pop up. Yeah.
Thank you. Danielle, where can we find you? Oh, unmute, baby. Unmute.
My bad. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook. And for any booking needs, I can be emailed at igrubz@yahoo.com.
I do grub. Thank all of you. And And let me tell you, this was Ann's idea. This really was. I said, after last week, I was like, man, I'm running out of ideas. Ann, I need some ideas. Ann said, I got it. And she found Evan and Tony, and then my son, the soul, Malcolm, he found Danielle. And you know what you're doing, girl. So this must make you feel really good. Thank you so much. All right. That's it for now. We'll stay in touch, though. We'll stay in touch. You know, once a street soldier, always a street soldier. We love y'all. Keep it up. Keep on moving. And God bless you. Thank you for the night. Okay. Bye-bye.
I'll be looking for the truck. I'm going to get to the cake. And Danielle, I want some of that lobster.
Y'all come down for a tasting anytime.
All right.
Okay. Good night.
All
Thank
right,
you.
good night. Yeah.